Following the comprehension, the full awareness and impact of living by God's will alone. I'm given the same for having the single eye, the single ear, the focus on God's kingdom alone, on His will alone. There's a saying in the world, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And I'll go long periods of time living off-grid, surrounded by woodlands, no phone, nobody knowing where I am. And I've spent years like that, and then come out and be like, okay, what do I need to know about how the world is functioning now? Especially, I spent 5 years in the desert, out of touch with mainstream society. I knew when I crossed the lower bridge out of the community that I had to, make sure that I was decently covered, having a shirt that a store would accept on, shoes on my feet, and a mask. I had to add a mask to the outfit. And that's all that I knew. There was nobody, forcing me to get shots. There was nothing required a shot in order to be able to obtain to take care of my needs. I had no need for interacting. So now I leave because it just got too dangerous, too evil, too isolated there. And so I look out at the world. Okay, what's going on? What do I need to know? What are people facing? What's happening? And so it's like, oh, so this is why my health is deteriorating. They're putting this in here and that in there, and oh, this is where these symptoms come from. The doctor says, prescribes me blood pressure meds to lower my blood pressure because, that valve in my heart tore. And I knew the moment that it was releasing something. And, it's high blood pressure. No, I'm Rh negative blood. Anytime you take my blood pressure, it's low. If you even come at my body with a needle to draw blood, all the veins shrink. High blood pressure is not my problem, so they give me low blood pressure meds, and all of a sudden half my face is drooping. They don't know. But I was like, this video was led to me like, oh, those are all the symptoms right there. That's what it is? Oh my goodness. Okay. So now I get absorbed with, what are they doing? What are they doing? What do I need to know? What's the enemy doing? I need to prepare for this. Nope. Singular eye. And I have seen it. I've seen it. I've had the experience in my life when I was just devoted to understanding more about God. And I'm put in a disastrous vehicle that's unregistered, unlicensed, and traveling, gets pulled over, and the officers just take this gas and get the hell out of my town. Get the hell out. Didn't even want to deal with the person who was responsible for the vehicle. And so things like that will happen. And that was while I was in ignorance. So if I know that, like I talked about in my last video, driving long distance and the amount of gas that should have been used but wasn't, riding on fumes, the experience of the widow And the oil jars that never emptied of oil, they just keep refilling themselves. That is a reality that we can live. We don't want to be put in those desperate circumstances where we need a miracle to get out of it. But you know what? That's going to keep our faith alive, because if we're getting everything easily and we're hearing, oh, it's because you're doing a good job, it's because you're producing, it's because you're living in accordance with the laws, then we get misled. Our focus is, oh, this is where the reward is coming from. No, the reward is coming from God's will. Our well-being is coming from God's will. It's because God wills that we are experiencing shalom, being in right relationship with our body, with our environment, with God, with our family. That shalom is His will. And that is where our focus and our appreciation and our attention needs to be. And so time and space move around that. They move around this. That shalom that we get surrounded with. And so that's where our focus needs to be. Not on, okay, what do I need to do about this? What do I need? You know, you will blunder. Like, I've blundered into Canada. We went looking for a tree truck that was for sale in northern New Hampshire or something, and we ended up stopping in what turned out to be a restaurant in Canada. Oh, everybody's talking in French up here. What's going on? Where are we? Oh, we're in Canada. We went a little too far. There were no border guards or all those things you need to be warned about and worry about, and or we're told and we've been led to believe need to be our concern. They're not our concern. Once we are in covenant with God, and that time, He has His seasons, and we are in preparation for that time of covenant. I believe it's called Shabbat. Again, there are so many people with so many different versions of how things should be pronounced, and I say what I'm given to say because that's what's coming out my mouth right now. And if I'm given to say it's wrong, it's because it is God's will that I not have it right, because I am not yet in covenant with Him, and therefore I do not have the right to say that name correctly. I do not have the right to not eat pork if that's what is being fed to me. You know, I mean, I'm not going to go out and buy it, but if that's the only thing in my kitchen, and not hate myself because I didn't know before. I didn't have a complete knowing. Like the scriptures talk about the apostate, those who know right relationship with God, who have a full knowledge, awareness, and comprehension of everything, and then turn their back on it. I have never had the knowing, the understanding, the comprehending that I have now. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't become familiar with the machinations of the devil, as they call it, because I did not know that, you know, these spirits that I'm aware of, that I get information, they go flying off to go tell somebody. These monitoring beings, I didn't know that they're the ones that provoke us into, being sexually energized and nothing to fulfill it with. The ones that provoke us into anger and fear and terror, because they siphon that off and then they take it and they put it in somebody else's body to empower them with the strength to cause devastation. Like the ones who are overwhelmed with sexual energy to perform vile acts where they shouldn't be performed. That is the energy siphoned off everybody else who isn't using their sexual energy appropriately. So some dudes watching porn, getting off on that, and they release that energy that's snatched up, that is put in one of their priests to assault a child. It makes him blind. They're taking your energy plus this person's energy plus this person's energy, and so that person who would not even consider doing that, overwhelmed with the desire in the presence of that they do it. They're not strong enough in their own will, and they've already sacrificed their will. They've given their will to some demon who says, hey, yeah, I'm this Jesus person. Those Greek goddesses and gods of healing, they're like, yeah, call out my name, call it out. I'll give you some works to do in that name, just so long as you don't use the other name. As long as we can take that under, we'll take that praise. We'll go direct that. Trump's going to feel that praise. Keep on praising that Jesus. Go ahead, do that. And they're going to take all that and they're going to inject it into Trump, and he's going to feel like, I am praised, I am loved, oh yeah. If I didn't know that's how it worked, I would not know the depth of my own sin. Because we think we are alone and we're getting angry and we're feeling cornered and helpless, and we don't know what to do about anything, and we certainly aren't conditioned to say, oh, God will take care of that. God's going to take care of that guy. God's going to take care of that. That's okay. I don't need to sweat that. And instead we feel alone, and so we feel like, oh, I wish I could just, people fantasize about killing bosses, and postal workers go postal on, fellow employees or whoever they feel is making a demand of their time, the people who walk into the post office, So we think, but I didn't do anything. I didn't act on it. Where did it go when you let go of it? What did you do with it? Did you scream and sing a song, turn on the heavy metal, blah, blah, and blast it out of you? Did you have sex with your wife and burst it into her? Where'd you put that energy? Where did it go? In every case possible, those demons are going to take it, siphon it, and use it to empower something really vile. That's why, law of attraction even will teach you that your desire, your energy manifests in the world. So you desire murder, that desire for murder gets turned on a Christian congregation. It gets turned on an innocent child in a satanic ritual. So now I understand this. I keep my eye focused. If God's will brings somebody in front of me that has these issues, that would like answers, or that he wants to challenge me so that I can express, I'm sorry, you're irrelevant. I've proven, I've shown, and I've done something actively towards this covenant that I am craving and yearning. You're irrelevant. This covenant, this is what I am seeking. This is my focus. This is my will in alignment with God's will. So that's another knowing that you don't want to turn from, because that's what makes you irredeemable, is this level, this depth of knowing what it means to have a single eye. I now have the information I need to know about the machinations going on in the world around me. I don't need to continuously listen to it. I don't need to know which one specifically is doing it. I need to focus on what God wills, what he puts before me as I head into this covenant, and all else can fall aside. Single eye, single ear, single will, single purpose, single deed. That coming into right relationship.